All right, so here we are, 10 o'clock. Welcome everyone to the long coffee break. My name is Jeff Rodell. I'm a sales engineer at Long Building Technologies. Today I have my co-host with me, Julia Lewis with Krueger, and we're going to go over critical room and operation room solutions. So Julia, I'm going to pass it over to you and let you begin.
Thank you. Yeah, so today we will be talking about critical room and operating solutions and how Krueger can help you. So specifically, we will be discussing OR room designs, including laminar arrays and any shortcomings in that design and how we can overcome it. Then we'll talk about Krueger models specifically and what we can offer on those models. Okay, so starting off with the design of operating rooms. Often we see that laminar arrays are being used, and some of the challenges that an all laminar flow design can cause is airfield collapse. So the amount of collapse and acceleration is affected greatly by the temperature difference between supply air temperature and room air temperature. This collapse is also referred to as coalescence. And you can see the air collapses in an hourglass type shape on the screen. And that's when this happens, the velocity of the air also increases as that air collapse and that coalescence happens. Another issue that an all laminar flow design can cause is potential for entrainment of contamination or in the room. So again, at higher delta T's, this occurs more often, and that's when outside the primary diffuser array, that air can be entrained into the laminar flow pattern and blow towards the surgical table. And that's a huge concern in regards to infection prevention and keeping those airborne contaminants out of the space. So with that all being said, how do we overcome that? One way we can overcome it is with an air curtain system design. And this can help prevent both of those problems I mentioned on the last slide. So this is basically a two-component system where we have the laminar array in the center, and then the air curtain system is the perimeter around all four sides of the laminar array. We still have the laminars placed above the surgical table, and we still have to apply the same ASHRAE 170 requirements for the laminar array, which means 12 inches beyond every direction of the operating table. You need to have at least 70% coverage, and you need a feet per minute of about 25 to 35. In addition to the laminars, we also have that linear air curtain. As far as sizing, that air curtain can take up to about 60 to 70% of the total airflow you need for your space. So the laminar array only needs to provide about 30 to 40% of your total airflow if you have that air curtain. It's important to maintain that balance relationship to ensure that both the laminar array and the air curtain are working together properly. But this is our SteriFlow air curtain system. We can have as few as 2 inlets to feed the entire system, and we can pressurize the outer plenum with those corner plenums you see. And we have this available in aluminum or stainless steel. One of the advantages of using our SteriFlow system with laminars is it allows you to put more air through the air curtain, so you can meet your air loads without having to put extra CFM through the laminar diffusers and possibly increasing velocities. And we don't want that. We want the velocity to stay low and laminar all the way down to the operating table. A smaller ceiling footprint is also required or available because you don't need as many laminar arrays to put air into the space. So as long as you still have your 70% coverage, then you have all that room open now to put booms or lighting or anything else you might want in the ceiling. And the air curtain also naturally pulls out the collapse when coalescence happens in the laminar array. Since the high velocity of the air curtain is surrounding it, first off, it takes any sort of air that might be entrained and brings it straight down and out, back out of the space. It doesn't even go into the laminar area. And it also, with that velocity, pulls out the collapse. So you get truly laminar flow when you use both of them together. So now more into the laminar diffusers. We have two models, the 5000 and 5100, and we can offer them in aluminum, steel only for the 5000, and stainless. The main difference between the two laminar diffusers is our 5100 has a lot more accessories available standard, such as installation, LED lighting, and a cable operated damper. You can see that in the top corner, the butterfly cable operated damper, and that is accessible from the face with quarter turn fasteners. You can remove the face and get access to your HEPA or your butterfly diffuser, or anything you need, you can have room access to. And that goes for the LED driver box and all that as well. We can provide all of these models with HEPA filters, 2 inches standard, but we can provide 4-inch or OLPA filters if needed. Really anything custom if you need. One thing to note also is if you need an MRI safe unit, our 5100 series is going to be the option for that. So beside all those standard options we can also provide a lot of custom options, any custom size, plenum height, or location or inlet location, all that we can accommodate. So if you need a low profile, or if you have a side inlet application, we can make a design for that. We also have a dimmable switch and LED lighting options. So as you can see, the white is going to be our standard lighting option we have, and our LEDs go around the perimeter of our faces. But we also can do the green lighting. We can provide any lighting. So if you have any lighting specs that you need to meet, we can provide that. And we can also provide photometric analysis for data on how much light that your system is going to be putting out. So with all of the SteriFlow and the laminars, you still need a ceiling grid to put your whole system in. So we have our framework ceiling grid, and it's heavy duty, and it's welded in subsections that are easy to assemble in the field. And all of our framework ceiling grids will come with installation instructions to make it easier on you. We offer this with blank-off panels. We have some perforated blank-off panels that will match the face of all of our laminar diffusers. And then we also have solid blank-off panels as an option as well if you need maybe a boom in that slot or something of that sort.
Julia, real quick on that, if how easily is that field assembled if we need to on the grid, if it's too large to get into an elevator or something along those lines?
It's pretty easy. If you have any sort of size limitations, just let us know and we will make sure our subsections can fit, because elevators are, you do have to have a certain max size to fit into those a lot of times. So we can accommodate that, and then with the subsections, you'll get instructions, and we have T's that are half T's, and you can join them in the field, and then there's a clip that you can secure it with and suspend the whole system from above with.
Sounds like it's pretty simple.
And so here is all of the components in one system. And you can see there's the SteriFlow system. And on this, we also have the LED lights shown. We can do that on the SteriFlow as well as all the laminars. And there's the laminars in the center without LEDs. So a mixture of the two is sometimes required, which is why photometric analysis, or seeing how much light you get at your operating table, can be useful, because you might not need them on every laminar. and then blink off panels. So blink off panels are usually for access above the ceiling, or if there needs to be anything else mounted in the ceiling, like booms. And there's our framework system pointed out. So this example shows the frameworks only holding the laminars and the blink off panels, but we can have it encompass the SteriFlow as well, the entire SteriFlow. And it would actually have a mitered corner look instead of those corner plenums if that were the case. And yeah, so we can provide that. Frameworks is just as large as everything you need in the ceiling. We can make it that large to put anything in it you need, like lights and the SteriFlow if needed. So here are some custom layouts that we've provided. And this one is pointing out the lighting. All of the lighted units will have an LED driver box that's accessible from the room side. But if you want them to be accessible all in one spot for your whole system, we can provide this panel door that's shown there. We can also provide Unistrut integration. So a lot of times Unistrut is used if you have heavy equipment that needs to be dragged across the room or over the operating table. And sometimes those are already in the space, but they're always by others. So we can't really determine the spacing or the sizing. So we are able to provide any sort of custom sized laminar, so we can integrate those two systems and have them fit in any situation. And then here's a common plenum example. So we can provide these common plenums that will serve multiple faces of laminars. They will have HEPAs inside them. And we're not limited to 2x4 or 2x2 sizes. We can provide any custom size, and that goes for the plenum as well. So you can see on this image, we had a lot of random requests for the plenum shapes and sizes, and the inlets are also different across the plenums. And that's always something we can accommodate, and you can attach the plenums to each other from the room side as well. Okay, well, thank you for listening, and that is my presentation on our operating room solutions. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Julia, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking your time today to go through this presentation with us. Again, if there are any questions on this, please reach out to your Long representative. We are more than capable to help you with this. As you'll see here, there's a lot of things besides just the product that are offered, including drawings, installation manuals. So anything you need on this particular subject, please feel free to reach out to us. So again, appreciate your time, and thank you very much for joining us on this coffee break. We look forward to seeing you next week with JD Meadows as he will go over minoxidil and source capture. Thanks again, folks. See you next week.